What's up, everybody? We've got 3 practical tips that are guaranteed to improve your trading. No matter where you're at in your journey, you're going to take some value out of today's video. So enjoy. All right, everybody, welcome back. So we've got 3 practical ways to improve your trading. Tom and I are together again for another video, and I really appreciate Tom giving his insight, giving his perspective here. I think a lot of you guys look up to Tom. You've been following his journey, seeing him, go from inconsistent to consistent to now a full-time funded trader. And I think that's a really admirable path. And the more people that we can help do that at ASFX, Tom being one of the most recent people, that is our mission here. James, another one of the success stories, just got his biggest payout ever. So a lot of really good things happening here at ASFX, and now having Tom on the other side of the table to kind of give that perspective to you guys, I think is super valuable. So Tom, as we go into these 3 tips today, I know that they're circled around our upcoming webinar. And if you're watching this video before the webinar, you can sign up for free, link in the description. And if you're watching this video after the webinar, I'm going to have the replay link below. But this webinar is how to think like a winning trader. And we were just talking before we started the video here, saying how excited we are for this webinar. So this is kind of like a little intro, right? Like getting everybody excited, kind of scratching the surface, because some of these topics are really detailed. And we're going to spend some time going over them on the webinar more than we would on a YouTube video, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. I think we could. So what we've got crammed into this webinar, I think we could probably make a webinar for each of the elements that we're doing.
Exactly.
It's full of nuggets. We've tried to condense it down. We've tried to keep it as short as we can, but provide as much value as possible. So yeah, really looking forward to this video, and also really looking forward to the upcoming webinar.
Well, I think as you have now tasted more success in trading, I would say in the last 6 months, you've tasted the most success that you've ever tasted before. And you have success in other entrepreneurial things. So you know what that feeling is like. It's almost motivated you more than ever, from my perspective, to share your journey. Like, I'm watching you want to share more and give more value to people, because you now feel like, oh, I know what it's like to struggle. And now I'm on the other side of that a little bit more, and I can share and give a different perspective, give a different point of value, so to speak. So let's get into these 3 practical tips. Number 1, I think we both agreed on a really great tip that everybody should be doing. And these tips, guys, they're not just for new traders. This video is not just for a newer trader. This is for a winning trader, a struggling trader, an inconsistent trader, whatever you are, wherever you are. If you're not doing these 3 things, you've got to implement them into your trading. Everybody has to be doing it, right, Tom? That's the idea.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think you'd struggle to find a very successful trader that doesn't do all 3 of these things.
Exactly.
I'm yet to find one. So if you do know anyone, then please,
let us know.
Please send them our way. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So number 1 is backtesting. And it's something that I've always talked about. We have the backtesting course me and Jerome built. You have your own backtesting spreadsheet that you've shared with a lot of people. So why was backtesting number 1 when I asked you, hey, let's film a video about 3 practical tips? Why did this come to mind first?
Because, so thinking back and reflecting back on my journey, I think it was one of the first things that I did, having come into ASFX and taken the courses, whether it's the A1 or the D1. Backtesting for me provides that trust in the system. So I know wholeheartedly now, once I've backtested, that I am working with a strategy that is profitable. And for me, that really helps my psychology, and knowing I'm able to implement. Should I be able to execute that strategy correctly, I'll make money long term. So that was really important for me. And I think that's one of the things that in previous endeavors I wasn't quite able to do, is backtest, get that data. As a lot of you that know me, I'm led by the data a lot of the times. I like to use data to make a lot of decisions. So that just helps me from a psychological perspective. So yeah, something that I've always liked to do is the back testing. What about yourself? How about you? Have you used back testing before to help your psychology?
Well, I think that's once I realized what backtesting was, because a lot of people, when I got into trading, weren't talking about backtesting. I think I heard it from the guys at S&B Capital first, or maybe it was Dr. Steenbarger or something like that. One of those books, One Good Trade or Trading Psychology 2.0, something like that. Someone was saying testing. So then I started to realize, okay, I need to find a repeatable process and test it. And if it's proven profitable in the past, I can use it going forward. So once I got around to that, I realized that that was not a one and done process. I realized that, again, studying successful people, they would say you need to continuously test and keep up with the data of how your system is presenting, not just how well are you trading. how well is your system performing? Because you will miss trades. You will manage trades poorly. You will make mistakes, but you just have to separate the two, your trading data versus your system's trading data. I said it in a recent video. Don't judge me or ASFX based on my mistakes. That's what I meant to say, not me. Judge me. Don't judge the trading systems we teach in our courses based on my trading. I'm a human. I make mistakes. I'm nowhere near perfect, and I've never said I am. So I think you have to understand you're looking at two different sets of data, your actual system performance, the winners, the losers, the break evens, everything that presents, and then the trades you actually take. And then when you get that, you're like, okay, now, how do I get as close to the performance once I find a winning strategy? How do I get my performance in line with that system's performance as much as possible? So I think that's where the backtesting for me clicked. And I was like, this is something that I have to do every day. I've got to keep up with it. It's going to make me sharp. It's going to keep me on edge. And also, it's going to make me see new ideas. Like, how did we come up with what we're working on now with the A2? Doing testing of the D1 and the A1, looking for shit, looking for patterns. Like, then you come up with new ideas. So I think that's a huge value add that a lot of people don't even think about. When you think about backtesting, you dread it. You're like, oh, I don't want to do the markups. I don't want. Yeah, but if you do that, not only are you going to get better at that system, you might find something that makes it even better, or a new one that could be better. So then that leads you into the next practical tip. Number 2, it's journaling. I think that they are different. You know, the journaling is more of like, what are your trades actually doing? The backtesting is that other column I was talking about, the system performance. The journaling is like, how well are you doing? On the desk, off the desk, after the desk? Are you following that entire blueprint of successful trading? You know, and you're a great example for journaling. You've done the Notion templates. You've done so many things, your blog, tracking your data and showing your trades, that I think that's been a huge piece of your success, wouldn't you say? Because you've been able to assess yourself down to the detail, you know, down to the smallest detail.
Yeah, I think it's probably been one of the things that's helped me most to get to where I am now, is the journaling. And I look back how that's evolved over my time in ASFX, like you've said. So it started off with like my blogs, or probably before the blogs even, really. I used to just jot down in a spreadsheet what I'd taken. It didn't really have anything great information in there, but then I moved on to the blogs and started writing down my emotions and why I took the trades. And then that's then sort of carried into sort of more Twitter posts. I post more in the VIP chat. The Black Shirt Club was unbelievable because I felt I was really able to share my ideas freely. Yep. I feel like at times I can clog timelines up because I like to share a lot of markups and things like that. But then I've now taken it probably 2 steps further with the Notion. I ask myself a lot more questions. I go into a lot more detail than I have, and I see how they have evolved. And then finally, probably ASFX TV, which is a really good one on my market recaps, because that then forces me to deep dive into all elements of my trading, my psychology. We talk about that a lot on ASFX TV. Yeah. And going back to your point that you mentioned around the backtesting being one, and then the sort of the journaling or reviewing being the second column, on the webinar on the 11th, if you come and join that, we'll be giving you some really good practical advice on how you can identify the differences between the two, get you thinking about some questions to deep dive into your trading and how well you're executing it versus the backtesting. So that'll be really useful, and some practical tips to take away from
no
the webinar.
Fluff in the webinar. No, this isn't just like, oh, a sales pitch for ASFX. We're still going to give everybody an offer to join ASFX. I always do that, give you a good deal, but that's not the gist of the webinar. We're actually giving people value. That's why people still show up to our webinars too. I told you the other day, like, we get over 1,000 signups on a normal webinar without me running a huge ad budget at all. And I'm proud of that, because I think that that's a pretty good conversion rate considering we're just talking about day trading. You know what I mean? So to get people that want to show up, it's because we bring value in the webinar. It's not just fluff for a sales pitch like a lot of people use it for. So yeah, great point. Great tie in. Great plug there, Tommy boy. So let's go into the third one. I think we touched on the back testing well for now. We touched on the journaling well. And again, these are all topics that are going to be circled around, like Tom said, in the webinar. So there'll be a link, whether we are after the webinar or before the webinar, there's a link in the description to watch it, either sign up for free or watch the replay for free. But the third practical tip for today's video, Tom, this was something that you push more than me. This is something that I don't like talking about a lot because I'm the guy who's in the AS of the ASFX. So I don't like telling people, go find a mentor, go find a community, but that is your tip number 3. And I do understand why you say that, but maybe you should take the lead on this one and then I'll bounce off of you.
Yeah. So for me, I think this is so important, and it stems back from previous endeavors and things that I've done in the past. But when you study and look at other successful people, whether that's in trading, whether it's business, whether it's in sports, you name it, whatever it may be, for somebody to get to the pinnacle of their career, they have had people support, encourage, inspire them along the way.
Yep.
And that usually comes through the form of a coach or a mentor.
Yep.
So as traders, we want to be trying to find a mentor that can provide them things. So support, encouragement, inspiration, pick us up when we're feeling down, and just somebody that's on the same path as us. So I do feel strongly about it. I've always seen a lot of value in coaches. And I think it's really important if you are looking to be a trader, probably more than most, because you are going to get kicked about in this arena. A lot of the times you're going to have to pick yourself up. So it's really important to have people around you that have been where you are. They know what you're feeling. It's not nothing new, and they can pass on their experience and encourage you to do that. So for me, I think that's the big one for me is find a mentor and a coach. And I'm sure you've probably got them in other areas of your business. What sort of benefits do you find in mentors and coaching?
Well, we both have backgrounds in athletics and sports, and all of the growth in sports and some of our greatest achievements in those sports come from being around really good coaches that just know how to push you and coach you the right way. And I feel like that's what's motivated me to want to be a coach to other people. My dad has done public speaking for a long time. And like, as in his field, he's an attorney and stuff like that. Like, he's always been someone that was not just an attorney. Like, it was more than that to him, of wanting to help other lawyers. And that's what he does now. He's not even practicing law. He just coaches lawyers. So I think it's also in me to like want to share what I know and share my experience. Like, it's part of who I am. And I think humans in general want to share things. Like, if you go out to the store and you see a great deal, you call your buddy and you're like, bro, the beer is on sale, get over here. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, people do that. Like, we look out for each other. We want to help each other. You see somebody using that poisonous sunscreen, you go, bro, don't use that. Use this. Like, please use, this is better for you. Did you not hear they recalled that? You know, we look out for each other. So I don't think it's anything weird to want to help other people, but I think it is something, like you said, that separates the 1% from the 99 when they say, I need help. I want to be pushed. If you listen to Tim Grover in that episode James sent to us, he's talking about how he didn't even write Michael Jordan a letter to say, hey, do you want coaching? He wrote letters to the rest of the team, but he thought Michael Jordan, he's the best player. Why would he ever want coaching? And Michael hired him because Michael knew, like, even at the top, you need to be pushed. And I think he said something else that sticks. So many of the things Tim says apply into trading, like just being coached well and wanting to win and understanding winning, because winning is important in trading. You've got to know how to manage money. In this game, making money is winning. You have to know how to win and have to align yourself as a winner. But he says, like, people tell you, don't sweat the small stuff. Don't sweat the small stuff. Winners sweat the small stuff. Winners want coaches that push them and challenge them in every little detail. Like how I was questioning Colin today. Should you have gotten in on the second shift handle because you got stopped out of the first one? If you took the first one, shouldn't you take the second? Like, those types of challenges, those dialogues, that discourse is where growth is being pushed. Because I think it was Albert Einstein. I don't remember. It could have been somebody else. But there's a quote I heard recently about how, like, someone said, like, I love being proved wrong. And maybe it was Ray Dalio, somebody smart. I love being proved wrong because that means we learn something. You know, so when you have a discourse with someone, whether it's when you first came into the Black Shirt Club and I'm challenging you on your A1 entries and stuff like that, and you come out of that, whether you learn something new or I learn something new, someone grows, if not both of us grow. So I think that's the value in the coaching, you know?
Absolutely. And I'd like to just add to that. And as a coach, or like you said, that you've learned something new or you want to be proven wrong, however you want to frame it, it's like, I feel like as a coach, you could still push yourself to be better every day as well. Yeah. And you're learning something every single day. Like, the one that sticks out to me is like James with his markups and his notes. We're pushing James every day to share more of his notes and his ideas, because James is this great trader. He trades really, really well. And we just want to tap into that a little bit more. That's what the Black Shirt Club is. You're seeing live how the people are taking money out of the market. Like you said, just had his biggest payday. He's still getting better and better. That's still getting better that we want to take out of that.
And it comes from the community. James. Like you said,
exactly.
We're pushing him. We're saying, you know, do more detailed markups. That leads him to winning more trades. It also, like, we boost him up and give him that confidence boost to not worry about what other people are doing and just snag and bag. Like he and I made a video yesterday about win rate for the day trading show. And he was talking about, he's like, bro, I don't care if I get all 6R. He's like, I'm winning 80% of my trades at 1R. So why would I care? Like, why? And I'm like, you're right, bro. Like math is math, bro. Math is math. That's why I love trading. Have opinions, have whatever, have good discourse. But at the end of the day, we can just look at the numbers and know, is this profitable or not over the long run? And the way, yeah.
That is definitely something else we'll be talking about in the webinar as well. So stay tuned for that one. We will be talking about the maths and how it all works together. So you will come out of that with understanding that as well.
Yes. All right, good. Thank you for cutting me off, because we could turn this whole thing into a webinar, but this has been good. Yeah. We'll wrap it up here. So everybody, if you want to join us for the How to Think Like a Winning Trader webinar, there's going to be a link in the description. Like I said, if you're watching this before June 11th, you're going to sign up for free. Join us. We'll send you a replay. If you can't be there live, just sign up. And if you are after June 11th and you just want to see the replay, click the link in the description as well, and that'll take you right there. I'll make sure that's updated for you guys. But Tom, I appreciate you as always. Everybody, if you are not using all three of these tips and you want to drop a comment, let us know which one of the three you're going to implement or focus on the most. That would be awesome. We appreciate the comments. We love talking to you guys. Make sure you subscribe, give us a thumbs up, and hopefully we'll see you guys on the webinar, and we'll see you guys in the next video.